Tell me what you see, a change in society. Nothing has abandoned me. So tell me where to return to without a new name. Everything is changing around me, but still I'm the same. Anybody out there somewhere, I swear, where am I supposed to go?
Right, hello, welcome back to another video in the little corner of the internet that is me, Necro, talking about what else other than anime. I briefly went over this, I think at the start of the month, to do with my favourite character episode of ReZero or ReZero or ReZero, or however you want to pronounce it. And I wanted to talk about, is ReZero underrated or is it just highly overlooked? So when a new anime comes out, or sorry, a new adaptation of the manga comes out of a new show, you know, you get a big hype around it. You know, I heard people tout about Fire Force when it first appeared, that it was very much shadows of Naruto, and the same goes with Black Clover. And these sort of things happen when small shonen types appear after a big shonen. And sometimes the comparisons are unfair, but you know, I can understand it. So I can never seem to understand or seem to figure out why it is overlooked, a ReZero, or even why it is never spoken about when it comes to the comparisons of the other animes. You know, you hear the likes of, oh, Black Clover is going to be the next Naruto, despite being called a rip-off of Naruto. Logic. Like, don't get me wrong, ReZero is a flawed show. It's not perfect, it's not a masterpiece, but I love it to pieces. And anything I'll be talking about in this video will be away from Season 2 material, because I am yet not through it completely and the Season 2 is over yet, and it wouldn't be fair to talk about it just yet, because you can't make a judgment on it just yet, but Season 1 I can. Now, the one argument I always use of ReZero is, if you put a Kirito from Sword Art Online SAO from there, or you put a Asta from Black Clover, you put a Naruto from Naruto into it, or you put, you know, any of the big characters from other big shows into the scenario that Subaru Natsuki has to deal with of die, try to survive, die, survive, die, survive, and it's a very lonely existence he has. If they try to do that, I don't think they survive. Now, this is probably the wrong point to start off at, is that they don't survive, they don't cope with it, and it's hard to say that because obviously they're big characters. Even if you throw Goku in there from Dragon Ball Z, the amount of times he has to watch, Natsuki in this case, his loved ones die over and over and over and over and over and over and over, it is ridiculous. And it is unfair, and it's a very sad thing to watch. But it's also interesting to see how he develops. Now, the show has, like I said, its flaws, from poor character development to cliche writing, from, you know, the poor character development being Emilia, for example. She's the same character, in my opinion, from Season 1 to up to the point in Season 2. Now, that isn't a spoiler per se, because for a lot of Season 1 she doesn't change. Subaru does. Subaru at the start of Season 1, even to the end of it, he's a lot more confident, he has an idea of what to do from now on, he knows how to cope with things, he's smarter, he's quicker on his feet. Now, he's still, as one-star reviews like to call this show, a big crybaby, or ReZero episode of another crybaby. He's still that, and he's still slightly insecure at times, and he's very opinionated, and he likes to fight his corner. And then when it comes to the cliche writing, he's very, it's almost like they tried to paint him as the knight in shining armor, despite, you know, no armor, no skills, and no fighting ability. Yes, he can fight probably a wooden statue, but that's a statue, and it's wooden. God knows how that works. And, you know, from the underrated characters in ReZero, from the stall guy who numerous times Natsuki respawns by and asks if he's broke, or if he's broke, go away from there. The guy whose daughter he finds and reunites with in the first attempt at that life. Then you've got the the belly gouger or whatever her name was, in the first season, she was menacing. She was an awesome villain because she was just almost like she didn't take herself seriously. You had all sorts in ReZero, and obviously it sounds like a struggling point, but it's more on the lines of they had that many different elements. Even the mystery of Roswell Mathers, he was a mystery by itself, and he still is at the end of season 1. From season 1 episode 1 to season 1 25, he's still as big of a mystery as he was in episode 1 to the end, and that could account for bad character development like the flaw I mentioned, but at the same time he's never in enough episodes or enough content to really warrant development. Like, Natsuki's in every single episode without a doubt. Amelia's nearly in every single episode without a doubt. Rem and Ram go through a hell of a development. Obviously Ram sticks more to her own personality doesn't really change and isn't influenced by much, but everyone is somehow influenced by Natsuki, and all I see Amelia go from is this timid character to this little bit less timid character, I guess. And I don't think that's a lot of development for someone who's the main female protagonist. But I think a lot of the criticism it receives is both warranted and unwarranted, and I think a lot of people don't like the format of the show because it's quite brutal. It doesn't really hold back, and you've got to bear with it. It's not one of those shows that you watch from the get-go and you're in love with it no matter what. I was one of the few that I know of that did that. But you know, I'm this video is literally just my defense of it and why I think it's an underrated show. Now, when it's mentioned amongst other anime, the only people that seem to bring up ReZero in an argument that, oh my god, it's a really good show, are those who love the show, if you get what I mean. Like, those who found it, watched it, or they were fans of the manga and the adaptations, and they enjoyed that and they wanted to watch the anime. And some people like me just stumbled upon the thumbnail and was like, oh, this looks interesting, and watched it, and I was hooked from the get-go. I've watched that show over 3 or 4 times now. I'm now trying to re-watch it because I forgot to carry on watching season 2. But you know, Subaru in some aspect, I had to think about this from my favourite character episode that seems to have got over 300 views, so thank you so much. He is OP in some retrospect because everything he's sought out to do, somewhat, he had managed to accomplish. He wanted to manage to protect Amelia no matter what. He did that, even after numerous amount of attempts. He got there. Whether it was he wanted to guarantee the safety of the villagers, he did it. When he wanted to become stronger, he did that. When he knew that something couldn't be saved and he knew he had to die to go back to save it, he did that. When he found out a different solution of how to do something, but then something, like when he said he returns by death and he didn't feel the clench of the curse go around his heart, but it killed Amelia, he went back and fixed that. When Rem died instead of him, he went back and fixed that. Now, not a lot of characters would continuously put themselves through suicide or through different ways of knowing and guaranteeing their deaths to the point where it breaks their minds. And this is very much just in defense of, I think that'll be the name of the title. Oh yes. It's more of, this is more of the in the defense of Natsuki Subaru. Now, if this, if people don't like my opinion, I will highly recommend putting it in the comments, and I'd love to chat to people in the comments about it. This is very off the hook video. A lot of these are at the moment. I'm seem to be getting ideas into my head than just running with them. But I've got to say thank you for the love on the ReZero episode, because that got over 300 views, which is mad. Hence why I wanted to follow with this. I will be following up with more ReZero content, not just because it's the only show I like, because I have lots of thoughts about it and I want to try and construct it in a more concise way. And I've got more AMVs coming out. I've got an Attack on Titan one I'm currently working on coming out soon. I've got more discussion type content that I'm doing now coming out. But yeah, if you feel like there's any specific kind of anime you want me to talk about, a specific kind of character, or heck, even just a different type of video, different category, whether it's Twitch, streaming, internet advice, I'm put it in the comments. I'll get to it as soon as I can. Very open to new ideas all the time. Thank you for watching. This has been Necro. Have a good day. Stay safe, and ReZero, it's a good show.
Look around, tell me what you see. A change in society, and I feel it as a